Welcome to the You Unlocked podcast. I'm your host, Darby Steinkamp, and I'm a certified ICF and NLP mindset coach for ambitious, entrepreneurial mamas, female coaches, and online service providers just like you who are ready to build a business and life that gives them more freedom, income, and impact than ever. My mission is to help as many women as possible to uplevel your life, your business, your finances, and help you see the infinite potential within yourself to be, do, and have anything that you want. It is my duty and obsession to give you the tools, the resources, strategies, and teachings that you need to create the reality of your wildest dreams. Each week, I'll be bringing you simple exercises, inspiring chats, special guest interviews, all based around how to unleash your inner magic, break through your limitations, and boldly claim the success that you desire. It's you unlocked. So, if you enjoy listening to topics on money, mindset, manifestation, and balancing all the things while practicing the woo and doing the work, then you have come to the right place. I am obsessed with helping women see through to their highest potential and transform into the greatest, most powerful versions of themselves. So think of this podcast as your weekly dose of personal development to maximize your impact, your influence, and your income. I am so glad that you're here, and I hope that you enjoy today's episode. Now, let's begin. Welcome to a new episode of You Unlocked. Today, I want to share with you how you can set boundaries and honor your time around the silly season, as well as how you can reinvent yourself in 2025 and make this new year your year to thrive as a mompreneur and to really just step into your higher self. Because this year has been a really challenging and emotional year for me. I think just because, I've had just so many things going on as a mom, things are always changing. And so I've had to make adjustments with my parenting and schedules. And I've also had to make adjustments to, shift things within my business so that I'm in as much alignment as possible with my higher vision. So, firstly, holding boundaries and protecting our energy is so important, especially around this time of year when the kids are having Christmas concerts, the party invitations maybe rolling in. You're trying to figure out or finalize certain aspects of your business, such as maybe like you're going through a pre-launch or, how much you're going to work over the holidays. And maybe you're trying to like push through and get loads of things set up or finalized so that you can, spend some time with your family. And so there may be a lot of people or things, demanding your time, but that doesn't mean that you have to say yes to everything. And you don't really need an excuse to say no, but I will give you a few polite ways that you can say no in a moment. But I just want to explore, this challenge sometimes that we have with setting or holding boundaries just for a moment, because usually when we have to over explain or give a reason for why we can't attend something or we don't want to do something, it's rooted in people pleasing, right? Many of us believe that in order for us to say no to somebody, we need to, provide a really compelling reason so that we don't disappoint or we don't upset that other person. But always remember that your self-care or your well-being is the priority. And when it comes to saying no to things, instead of a long-winded explanation, the first thing we do is just to give a simple thanks. Thank you for considering me, or thank you for inviting me, without needing to give an explanation further. Just a simple thank you, and then a simple no, right? So get into the habit of being as clear and concise as you can with your responses. So let's say someone invites you to a party and you just don't want to go. You've had a big week. Um, or even, if you go, it's likely that you're just gonna feel a bit drained, if you go anyway. So just take that as a sign to say no. So your response here would be, "Oh, thank you so much for inviting me. Unfortunately, I can't." And then as a final way, just to wrap up that statement, it would be, "I hope you have a great time." So sending them love or sending them warm wishes as a way to wrap things up. Or you can be a little bit cheeky with it, have a little bit of fun by saying something like, "I want to say yes, but my mental health says no." Or "I can't make it this time, but let's catch up soon. Sorry, I already have plans." And even if the plans are self-care, that is valid, by the way. So get into the practice, and this is something that I'm certainly going to be doing over the silly season. And now, if you are ready to thrive in 2025, I love that that has a bit of a rhyme and a ring to it, and experience your next level of growth, you are not alone. I feel really called to reinvent myself and make a big comeback. And when I say comeback, even though I've been, running my business for over a year now, and I've been very busy behind the scenes doing all the things just to keep my business growing, there's still so many things that I want to do and create, and I feel like I'm ready to step into my next level of growth. I feel like that is one of my top values. I love growth and expansion and just always Um, yeah, basically expanding myself to be the best version that I can be. And what I've realized is that we go through these seasons, these cycles. And, say like a winter season, you may take more time to rest, or you're not in so much of a creation mode, or maybe you're nurturing or maintaining, what you've already created, or taking your foot off the pedal. Maybe you're feeling a little bit stagnant or slowed down. But then there's these other seasons, right, where you feel really motivated or in a creation mode where, we're taking lots of inspired action and we're feeling really excited and we're just going all in. And that's the kind of energy that I want to back into. And that's the reason I'm calling 2025 my comeback year, and to come into my season of growth, of exponential growth, right? So perhaps you felt the same. Perhaps you've started something that hasn't quite worked out, as you hoped, or things that you wanted to start this year have fallen to the wayside. And being called to step into your next era, the next level of you, or this higher version of you, um, it's not about being someone that you're not or becoming this new identity, but it's more of becoming or being more of who you were meant to be. So maybe you know that you're not living in alignment right now, or you're being pulled to significantly up level. And this is what leveling up and reinventing ourselves is all about. So we go through these seasons where we transform and we change, and then we perhaps get comfortable in that new identity, before we're really ready to level up again. Now, one thing that I think is important is to not tap out of this year before the final whistle blows. And what I mean by that is there's like often this energy tied into the end of year where so many of us sometimes unknowingly hit the pause or momentum within our business, or we give up. And, when you're saying, "Well, I'm just going to zone out for now and I'll start up again in January." Or you might be thinking, like, "What's the point in selling right now? People are too busy, or people aren't looking to invest in this time of year." And there's three things that happen with this kind of mindset, right? So you lose touch with your current clients. new clients stop coming in, and you kind of step into this new year with no plan, no momentum, no clear direction. So, yeah, you're stalled from the start. Does that sound familiar? And I get it. After a year of pouring your energy into your business, you just want to relax, recharge, maybe binge on some holiday movies and crank up some Mariah, my favorite. But here's the thing. Right now is the perfect moment to draw a line in the sand and say, 2025 is going to be different, and it's going to be your best year yet. So we want to start creating that right kind of energy as we enter into the year and not wait for the new year to start before we do that. So think of 2024 as your launch pad into your best year yet. So how can you utilize the most of your time or whatever time you have left this year? You might feel like nothing's changed, and then all of a sudden everything changes, right? So, this is what I mean by don't tap out until the final whistle blows. Most of us, or rather, most of all of the momentum happens at the end. So, trust and have faith that magic is still available to you, even if you haven't seen much of it previously this year. And to help you hit the ground running before the new year sneaks up on us, I want to offer you a little boost, right? So I've created a workbook for you, which is designed to help support you in utilizing what you've already done or achieved this year to catapult you into your next level self. So information on how you can access this for free are found in the show notes. And as the year comes to a close, this is a beautiful workbook to reflect upon the year that's gone or almost gone and really just crystallize your vision for 2025. But you can use this workbook at any time, really, because I want this to be less about a new year and a new start and just more about reinventing yourself and becoming that higher version of you at any point within your journey. So, can you get into that energy of a new start, a new beginning when you're at the end of an era? Because your comeback and reinvention starts right now. Start to see this as a gradual evolution over the next 12 months. Even if you want to have like an all or nothing view on it. So maybe you get a little bit disappointed or um, hard on yourself if you don't accomplish everything or things just don't work out how you want it to be. Often sometimes we start out very inspired and motivated, and then when we perhaps hit a speed bump or roadblock, we can feel a little discouraged. And just remember to have compassion for yourself. Growth isn't linear, it's cyclic. So, who you're becoming, who you're stepping into, the life you're stepping into, what that up-leveled version of your life looks like for your comeback year, get crystal clear on that. Get crystal clear on what that looks like, but then equally surrender to the fact that it doesn't need to happen by month one, right? You might go backwards in order to go forwards. So instead of thinking about what you want to happen in January 2025, start to think about who you are and the person you want to embody by the end of the year. What have I created? What is that version of me that I've stepped into at the end of 2025? What are some of the habits that I've been able to create for myself? What are some of the ways in which I talk to myself? What are the ways that I communicate to others? How do I hold myself? How do I present myself? And then when you get clear on who the comeback version of you is, that reinvented version of you and what that looks like, what is your next level identity, then the next step is to realize that January is just the level one version. January is the beginning stage of that journey. So this is your opportunity to make mistakes, right? This is your time to let things go wrong or slip into old habits or act out of alignment or, show up in a way that you know doesn't serve you because you're just trying to figure things out as you go. And you're not meant to be at that next level version of you yet because that's what we're aiming for the end of 2025. It's a process of gradual evolution. Now, there's also so many lessons that we can take into the new year. Sometimes we want to wipe the slate clean or start from scratch, but we're not starting from scratch. And it's about recognizing, the big and the small celebrations of growth that you've already experienced. You don't need to burn the whole thing down in order to reinvent yourself. Maybe there's areas where you can capitalize on what you've already built. How can the challenges that you faced, how can they become stepping stones to shift into that next level version of you? We are then placing ourselves in that energy of abundance. As an alternative to starting from ground zero, I want you to switch into the energy of abundance and think about, what have I gained from this year? Not what have I lacked, but what have I gained? There may even be elements of your past that can be reignited. Maybe you can reignite some of the things that you were passionate about or the things that you didn't really get to see through fully, right? So perhaps now is the time to bring it back into the world. Maybe you started showing up in a certain way. Maybe it was, a program that you wanted to launch or a new business idea that you had. And maybe this comeback is bringing back a version of you that you've let, slip away. So now something to be mindful of, perhaps some fears or limiting beliefs may be attached to this reinvention of you. And I think something that is quite common and comes up for a lot of people is, this idea of what are other people going to think of me? If all of a sudden I start to show up in a different way, am I going to get judged by that? Are people going to think, who does she think she is? And it may also be changing your niche or pivoting in your business as to how you want to serve your clients or speak to a new audience, and maybe that imposter syndrome kicks in. It doesn't quite yet feel real or authentic. And I want to remind you that if you're being called to change or shift your identity, to reinvent yourself, to make a comeback and to do things differently, that knowing, that calling within you is because you're being guided to where you are meant to be. And that is for you to decide, not for others. You know in your heart when you're being true to yourself, when you're being authentic to yourself, the way you get other people to embrace that new authentic version of you is to lean into that authentic version of you even more. And by you committing to your reinvention or comeback era, is saying, look, this is who I know I am meant to be, and I'm ready to become that person over the next 12 months. And by committing to that, you find that in time, others will also get used to that version of you as well. And it may be uncomfortable at first. You may leave some people behind, in this process. Growth is always going to leave behind the people who are committed to staying the same. So as you up level, there are going to be people that you no longer resonate with, and that's okay. You may meet them again later in the journey, or maybe, they go through their own up level and then you can reconnect again and be on that same wavelength. But not everyone will understand your path, and you have to be okay with that. This discomfort that you might experience will be short-lived. Remember, your subconscious mind always resists things that are new. It's a protection mechanism. So the subconscious mind freaks out and says, oh, who is this new version of Darby? I don't like this new version. She's different. And it will resist it because it's something that's different. But over time, it will become more familiar. And then therefore, the subconscious mind starts to accept this new version of you. So don't be disheartened if your reinvented self isn't welcomed at first. The more it becomes familiar, the easier it is to be accepted. Now, as I mentioned, if you are thinking that 2025 is going to be different, it's going to be your best year yet, and you are ready to embody the higher version of your next level self, to support you with this, what I've actually done is created for you a free workbook that you can download right now, and all of the information can be found in the show notes. And that workbook is basically going to guide you through how to capitalize on the end of the year and how to set yourself up for an extraordinary year of success going forward. And with that, lovelies, I hope you have a wonderful holiday season with your families. Enjoy all of the magic and creating the memories to last a lifetime. I am opening up limited spaces for one-on-one coaching too. So I'll pop the link below and how you can jump onto the wait list and just literally have me in your corner to create the business and the life of your dreams. I am so excited for you. I know that I am certainly ready for my comeback era and all of the things that I have in the pipeline that I'm so excited to share with you all. So happy holidays, and I will catch you on the next episode. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. And if you absolutely love what you heard today, be sure to share it with me by leaving a review on Spotify or sharing it with someone who you think would benefit from it so I can keep the good stuff coming. And if you aren't already following me on social media, come say hi and soak up some extra inspiration on Instagram by searching at Coaching with Darby. I love and adore you so much, and I cannot wait to connect with you in the next episode. In the meantime, go out there and manifest that magic.